The Community Television Consortium of Stark County presents this week's edition of What's Happening, the show about you, the people of Stark County. And now your host for tonight's program, Susie Vitale.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of What's Happening in Stark County. I'm Susie Vitale. Our first guest this evening is Pat Miller, who's the Early Childhood Director at Eastgate School. You're here to talk a little bit about Eastgate School and some of the services that you're going to be offering. So first of all, let's talk about Eastgate. Where is Eastgate and who is it for?
Thank you, and thank you for inviting me. Eastgate Early Childhood and Family Center is for children and family with children with special needs birth through the age of 5.
Okay, and where is it located?
It's located in Louisville off of 62 near St. Thomas Aquinas High School.
Okay, and what age groups do you have there?
Actually, we have 3 programs, an infant program, and a toddler program, and a preschool program.
Okay, now you have had some grants, and have they been awarded to the Early Childhood Department or the whole school, or?
To our Early Childhood Center at Eastgate.
Okay.
And there are 5 major ones that I'd like to share with you.
Sure.
The first one is our capital construction grant through the Ohio Department of MRDD. It's a matching grant for $1.2 million, which we're really excited about.
That's wonderful.
And it's a renovation project where we can renovate the building and upgrade it to standards for services for our families and children.
Okay, so what sorts of things do you think you'll be doing?
We'll be adding a new sprinkler system and matching up to ADA standards with door handles that are appropriate and upgraded bathrooms. So really just taking the center and upgrading all the facilities to the current standards.
Okay, that's a big grant. That's wonderful.
Sure is.
Okay, what's another grant that you've gotten?
Well, in addition, through the Stark County Family Council, I received $75,000 of their $300,000, if you will, for a very special project, which is called, I call it Mobile SOS. I mean, SOS stands for help, which we're really helping the families, and the SOS actually stands for Stark Outreach Services. So we can go into the family's homes or into daycare settings, anywhere where the family may need services.
Okay, what sort of services would you supply then for those families under that program?
Educational services in their home. We can help them locate other services within the county, medical, health, physical therapy, occupational therapy. So really connecting all the families that have children birth through the age of 5 with special needs.
Now, how do they do that? Does someone contact you and they have a need and then you would address it with this particular grant?
Right. Families call us. Other agencies may call us with referrals, and we connect up with the families and then invite us. So actually the families can call us at Eastgate at the 875-3347 number.
Okay. Now you have what, 5 grants?
Oh boy, yes, a couple more here.
Okay.
We also have a very family-focused intervention service for infants and toddlers who have hearing impairments, and this is another grant to provide services, wraparound services, if you will, for the family. So we're trying to serve all the needs. And for infants and toddlers who may have a hearing need, we have an audiologist and a hearing impairment specialist who comes out and provides information to the families and tests their hearing and so on. Along with that is another $30,000 grant from the Timken Foundation, which we're really excited about. And not to overuse the word, but we received $30,000 to purchase state-of-the-art equipment, audiological equipment to test hearing, and it's mobile equipment. And we have been picked as the regional site to have all this equipment for the families.
So you can take it right to the home and test?
We can take it to the home and have the families come into our center, but it's all for all of Stark County, not just our children. So.
Okay, and does that help with the cost of the audiologist, or is that separate?
Right. All these grants then are free to any of the families in Stark County, so we want to make sure everybody knows that there's no charge for services.
Okay, now we've only got a minute left, so do you have any more grants?
Okay, one more is a nutrition grant.
Okay.
And for young families too, there's nutritional needs, dietetic needs. Some of the children have problems eating and so on, so we make sure that they have all the nutritional intake, and the dietitian, Chris Rittenauer, helps us out with that also.
Okay, so you've got a grant for that. So you've really covered a lot of different needs for these children.
Right.
Okay, if someone has a need or they know someone who might have a need and they want to call you, who would they call and what's the phone number they would call?
Well, Susie, they can call me, Pat Miller, I'm the principal there, at 875-3347 right at Eastgate, and I'll be happy to talk with them.
Okay, and these are free of charge?
Absolutely, they sure are.
Okay, thanks for coming this evening.
Well, thank you for having me.
Next up, we have Dare. Stay with us. Our next two guests are two officers from the DARE program. We have Officer Steve Silver here and also Emery Adams. And Emery is new to coming on our program relatively. So Steve, do you want to introduce Emery to us?
Sure. This is Officer Emery Adams. He's a veteran of the police department for many, many years. And he's new to the DARE program. This is his first actual semester of teaching. He's just completed his third week and very well accepted in the program.
And you thought the streets were dangerous, huh? That's great. That's great. Okay, so what age group are you in the schools?
We're handling the first and the third and the fifth graders, with the core program being mainly with the fifth graders. We have a 4-week program with the first graders. We're doing 5 weeks this semester with the fifth graders and 16 weeks with the fifth graders.
That's great. So they really get used to seeing you. You go to the same schools then over and over again. So you start getting to know the students there?
Yes. Right. Presently, Susie, there's 3 officers in Canton teaching in 23 elementary schools. Handling a lot of schools during the semester. In fact, it takes both semesters to finish. In fact, we're planning on piloting the middle school curriculum in September of this year in all 4 Canton middle schools. We're really looking forward to that.
Okay, now how will that work? Is that going to be just one of the grades of middle school, or what grade?
Right. We're going to be teaching the 7th grade. It's going to be part of the science and health curriculum in all 7th grades. It'll be a 10-week curriculum that's going to be co-administered with the teachers. They'll have a part in the program also, and we're real excited about getting involved with that.
Okay, now you brought a workbook here.
Yes.
What age level is this book for?
This workbook is used with the 5th grade curriculum. This is given to each student, supplied by the sponsors of DARE. The students are graded on this workbook by the officers and also given tests. And in fact, in Canton City Schools, the DARE is part of their health curriculum. Their grades for health for the semester come from us.
So they better pay attention.
Yes, we hope so, very much. Not only for that, but for life.
Sure.
The life skills that they're taught in this program are things that can make a difference in many ways, we hope.
Okay, now there's some new things since you were on last time that have been added to the DARE program. So you want to talk about those? They seem like they're really useful.
Okay, yes. Well, DARE has revised the curriculum for the first time since its inception in 1983. They've combined a couple of lessons, and they've added lessons now on conflict management, violence prevention. There's lessons now that have been changed, like the alternative lesson has been changed. There's a couple of things that have been changed for the better for the program, including the workbook. And it's just wonderful. Some of the things that they're teaching now, we hope make a real big difference.
What kind of things are you teaching in violence prevention, for example?
Well, the conflict management lesson, Susie, deals with what violence is, why violence happens, and how they can prevent violence. They're taught violence comes from disagreements, and they're taught 6 appropriate steps to deal with disagreements. We practice those in class, give them a sheet to take home with them to remember this lesson by and to use, hopefully, in their future when it comes time to disagree.
So how do you like being in the schools? I've seen him out before at the mall. He's surrounded by kids every time because they recognize him.
It's amazing. I'm having a ball. The kids are great, and it's fun to be somewhere where you're wanted.
That's
and
for sure.
And the kids are unbelievable. Once they get to know you, they're like your little family. We all have our schools, and our schools are not our schools; they're our kids. And we get into some pretty neat competitions because we every officer lets the other kids, or the kids know what the other officers' kids are doing, and kids really compete to try and be the top of everything.
Yeah, the kids
and it's neat. They really have a good time.
Okay, we've only got a minute left, so would you like to give, either of you give some advice for either parents or students?
Sure. How about if I go for the parents, you for the students?
Okay.
I would just like to, for a moment, tell parents to please, as your children are growing up, I think the biggest thing you can do is to communicate with your children, Susie. Know what's happening in their life. Don't be afraid to communicate with them openly about everything there is in life. The parents are the biggest role models in their children's lives, and they need that communication and influence from them.
Okay, and Emery, in about 30 seconds, can you tell us something for the students?
Yeah, our target group is the 5th graders, because they're getting ready to leave elementary, go into the middle school. We're teaching them, they're getting to a point in their life where they're going to have to make a lot of decisions for themselves. And we're teaching them that to be an individual, to be able to think for yourself and not get into a peer pressure situation where you're maybe making the wrong decision just because you think the popular or the group or the clique might want you to make that decision, to be an individual.
Okay, real fast, what's the phone number if somebody wants more information?
489-3375.
Okay, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Stay with us, we've got more. Our next guest is our good friend Mary Pratt from the Department of Human Services, where she is an adoptive and foster care recruiter.
Yes.
Okay, and Mary has been on so many times that she could do this interview herself. So we're going to talk tonight about adoption.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So first of all, is there a need for adoption, and particularly it's minority adoption, I believe, that you came on to talk about?
Yes. In Stark County, over 60% of the children that are available for adoption are minority, and we're going to work real hard trying to place those children this year. We have a new recruiter who will start March 7th, and together we're going to pound the pavements and go into the churches and see if we can recruit some minority families or Caucasian or whatever, so that we can provide a permanent home for these children.
Okay, now you hear stories about people that want to adopt and they're on lists and they wait forever. You have children that need to be adopted now. Is
yes,
that correct?
The problem with our children are they are part of a sibling group, which is kind of difficult to take on 2, 3, and 4 children at one time.
It's just like having quintuplets or something.
Yes, and they're between the ages of 6 and 12, and that's a hard age to deal with. Most of the families that come through, they want toddlers or newborns, and we don't have many of those available. And as a matter of fact, we don't have any available right now. The average age, like I said, is 6 to 12, and people just don't see the benefit in adopting a child that old. But there are great benefits, especially in the sibling group. I tell people all the time that it'll be easier to have 2 or 3 children at one time because they help take care of each other.
Now, why is it so important to keep these sibling groups together?
Because that's all they have left. When you think about, we've already removed them from their biological home, they've left their parents, they've left the family that they know, and they're in a strange land, so to speak, that all they have left is each other. And so we try very hard to keep them together.
Okay, and backtracking, do you want to explain, this is obviously why you don't have babies and little toddlers, is because of how they come into your custody.
Right. The children that are in our custody have all been abused and or neglected, and they're in the system, and some of them come in the system as babies, but as time goes on and we try to work with the family, by the time we receive permanent custody, those babies are now 5, 6, and 7 years old. So that's basically why our children are a little older than people would like.
Okay, well, let's talk about who can adopt. Who's eligible? Do you have to have a great big house?
Oh, no, you can be single or married. We don't even have an income guideline. You know, we just want to make sure that the children are in a safe home, in an environment that will be something that they can grow up with, values and morals and things like that. So all they need to do really is to call me, and I have a packet of information that I will send to them that will tell them about our program. They will be invited to an informational meeting that will tell them more about the types of children that we have available, and we will send them to training.
Okay, and there is no obligation. If somebody wants this information, it's not like you're going to start calling them all the time.
No, no, no. That doesn't obligate them at all to get their information, even to come to the informational meeting. If they come and they decide, no, that's not what we're looking for, they won't hear from us unless we hear from them.
Okay, now you mentioned the training. That's another factor, is you have these kids that need the homes, but you provide training to help them. So
Yes,
do you want to talk
because
about
our
that?
children have been abused and neglected. We provide training. It's 18 hours as required by the state, and we go over all the different types of behaviors, all the different types of neglect or abuse that these children have suffered, and how to deal with it as a family.
So, and is there kind of an ongoing support then as well
Yes,
after they've
yes.
adopted?
We have an on-staff psychologist that will work with the family. They can call anytime. We recently started a support group for adoptive families, so they'll have people who are in the same situation there, and that they meet every other week to discuss how each family is dealing with their problems. Also, there's an adoption worker that they can call anytime.
Okay, we've only got about 30 seconds left, but about how many students or kids do you have that need adoptive homes?
Currently, in Stark County, we have about 52 children available for adoption, but in the state of Ohio, there's like 1,700.
Oh my goodness. Well, what's the number they would call?
438-8789.
Okay, thanks for coming this evening, Mary.
Thanks for having me.
Next up, we have Malone College. Stay with us. Our next guest is from Malone. It's Larry Smurglia, who is the chairman of the Malone Fund. So obviously we're here to talk about the Malone Fund. What is the Malone Fund?
The Malone Fund is the campaign this year to raise funds that go right to the heart and use on campus for the students. For example, scholarships and faculty development. So these unrestricted funds really go to help the students and their education.
Okay, now you mentioned they're unrestricted. In other words, when someone gives to this fund, they're not designating it for a certain thing, that Malone is given the power to use this however best they feel.
Well, that's right. Unrestricted funds mean that they're given a general fund as opposed to, say, a building project.
Sure.
That's right.
Okay, so obviously everyone benefits then. I was going to ask you who benefits, but everyone on the campus. Okay, what is the structure of your campaign? What's it like?
Well, we were thinking back over the years, because I've been involved in the Malone Fund for over 20 years. Years ago, we used to actually go door to door, knocking on doors, thanking people for their help, and really soliciting support. Then in the evening, we'd go back to the office and dial for dollars. Today, we really thank those people who have graciously helped us and supported us. And we want them to feel that we are thankful for that, and we contact them on a personal basis, explaining what we're doing and asking for their help, and if they can continue to give and even increase their giving.
Malone has really come a long way. It's an excellent school. There's so many programs. There's always something going on over there. So I imagine you've really gotten a really big base of supporters.
Well, we feel that we are right here in the heart of Canton. You've seen the campus grow. It's a beautiful campus with the new Bream Centennial building, the new athletic building. I think back years ago to when all there was the Founders Hall and a cornfield. So you have a good student body, a wonderful campus right in the heart of Canton.
Okay, what's your leadership like? Obviously, you have to have a lot of people involved.
Well, we really do. We draw from the community, business people who are involved in the community, lifetime Canton residents, corporations here in Canton support. That team is where we use to go out into the community to ask for further donations. That's right.
Okay, now you mentioned you've been a volunteer for over 20 years. Obviously, you must have some sort of great belief in Malone.
Well, I'm proud of my Malone degree. As a non-traditional student, I graduated from Malone in the management program. And that is where I believe you see the real success of Malone in the finished product. Earlier this week, I had the pleasure of having lunch with 2 of the Malone students, you know, and they were rushing about. Amy had just come from nursing at a nursing home and was on her way to a class. They're vital, they're interesting, and I think they're going to be very influential in our community and around the country, wherever they may extend their profession. They get that nurturing and growth here in Canton at Malone College.
That's for sure. It's really great when you see your alma mater turn into a school that stays with the values that they started with, and to be just becoming more and more of an excellent school and producing such fine students. We've only got about a minute left. If someone is interested in getting involved in giving to Malone or getting involved in this,
thank you.
What would they? Who would they talk to?
If they're interested, please call Malone College. The number is 471-8235. We'll be happy to enter in any questions that you may have. Yes. Okay,
and that is, I believe, John Fellman's office number, but it also is the campaign office number, too. So you would ask about what, the Malone Fund?
Ask about the 1996 Malone College Fund.
Okay, thanks for coming this evening.
Thank you for having us.
Next up, we have Pat Perkins. Stay with us. Next up is Pat Perkins with the calendar of events. Pat?
Thank you, Susie. The McKinley Museum will be holding its 3rd bridal show and luncheon, Ivy Wed 100 Years of Fashion, on Saturday, March 30th at noon at the North Canton Civic Center. Tickets are $20 and benefit the Stark County Historical Society. For more information or tickets, you can call them at 455-7043. The Community Television Consortium of Stark County offers all Stark County students and teachers a chance to see themselves on local TV by entering the 4th annual Stark County Schools Video Contest, sponsored exclusively by Warner Cable. Entries must be postmarked by April 1st, 1996. For entry blanks and more information, you can write to us, the CTC, at Post Office Box 8335, Canton, Ohio. The zip is 44711, or you can give us a call at 499-4008. The Quail Hollow State Park Camera Club meets the 2nd and the 4th Tuesdays at 7 o'clock at the Mansion. Guests are welcome. Meetings feature programs of instruction and entertainment. You can call 877-6652 or 452-8085 for more information. The Video Camera Club has its regular meetings the 3rd Wednesday of each month starting at 7 o'clock. The meetings are held at the Market Heights Community Church located at 3129 North Market Avenue in Canton. The club is open to anyone who's interested in audio or visual. Dues are $8. Please plan to attend and bring a friend. For more information, you can call them at 494-1266. Timken Mercy Medical Center will sponsor United Way's information and referral service. This service provides citizens with up-to-date information on area health and human services, as well as assisting people in finding help at local agencies. Their number is 455-4636. The Western Stark County chapter of the American Red Cross will offer a babysitting class for boys and girls ages 10 to 13. Classes will be from 9 to noon on March 2nd and the 9th. The fee is $15 and the class size is limited. To register, you can call them at 833-9943. The Stark County Family Court is seeking volunteers for its Guardian Ad Litem program. Those interested in learning more about becoming a volunteer guardian for the Family Court can contact the program director at 438-0914. The Lincoln, Timken, Lehman, and McKinley Alumni Associations will once again be holding the All-City Night basketball game at the Fieldhouse on March 30th. Lincoln will play Lehman at 7:15 and Timken will play McKinley at 8:45. The evening will include alumni basketball players, cheerleaders, pep bands, majorettes, band directors, coaches, and referees. The ticket cost is $4 each and can be purchased at Mangs, Hub Victor, Canton Flowers, Taggart's, Sutton's, and the Fieldhouse. For more information, you can call 452-1412. Applications are available for the 1996-97 Massillon Community School of Nursing and Heritage Endowment Fund Awards. Application deadline for this is April 15th, so if you want more information, you can call Terry Johnson at 837-6864. The McDowell Club Scholarship Committee is accepting applications for its 96-97 music scholarships. Auditions are scheduled for June 11th. So for more information on that, you can write to Mrs. Kenneth A. Finney. It's Finney. Her address is 925 High Street, Louisville, Ohio, and her zip is 44641. If you would like your announcements on this show or on the community program, you can call us or write to us at the Community Television Consortium. It's Post Office Box 8335, Canton, Ohio, 44711. Our phone number is 493-8925. We do air on Tuesday nights at 6 and Thursday nights at 6:30 on Warner Cable Channel 11. And on Thursday nights at 7:30, Massillon Cable Channel 50.
Thanks, Pat. That wraps up another edition of What's Happening in Stark County. Thanks for joining us.